What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover 3 types of exhaust for the Ferrari 360 Modena, or otherwise known as the 360 Spider. We're also going to give you an update on my car. It's back home in the garage, it's working beautifully. Well, everything except for the convertible top. That convertible top is going to need a bit of stitching. It's going to replace the elastic, which is basically starting to fail. That's what I showed you on the other video. With some duct tapes and zip tie. That would require a very talented upholstery person leaving the top where it is, but just hand stitching literally with a needle and thread and putting the elastic in, which keeps the metal rods where they're supposed to be, so the top folds down and extends when it's supposed to without getting stuck mid-cycle due to the rod being in the wrong place. Now I don't really care about that top right now. I'm just going to drive with the top open until winter comes. I'll probably take care of it during the winter time. It's not that urgent for me. Now, the things that I really had to fix on the car were related to the evap system. You guys follow the channel, probably say, again, evap again? Yes. Well, this is all related to the fuel system, and I did end up replacing about 95% of the evap system. Basically, the fuel system is a pressurized system, and once we fix an air leak, that pressure now created another air leak or revealed a vent that wasn't working. The system also needs to release pressure as well. It releases pressure into the intake manifold through the washing valves, which is this guy right here, power connector. 2 of them, okay, 2 of these guys. And also the gas cap. Let me play the clip what a bad gas cap sounds like. Okay. And also the main evap valve went bad. That was the last thing that was discovered. It was actually luckily just the battery connection. I'm sorry, the 12-volt power connection just needed to be cleaned. It was a little bit corroded, and that worked amazing. I like not having to switch parts. And also not the evap system, but the brake switch had to be replaced. Just a very specific part, not only to the year of the Ferrari, but the production sequence. So they got the wrong part to begin with, and it was another week to wait to get the correct part because it was sequential in the production number. So anyways, got the car back and drives great. I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. So moving on to the exhaust. For my car, I chose the Ferrari Sport Exhaust. This is the OEM Ferrari product. I was able to snag the second to last set from Ferrari North of America. Part number is 7003654, and there's 4 exhausts that Ferrari made that I'm aware of. Number 1, the stock muffler. Let me show you what that looks like. Also, the Sport Exhaust in my car, it's a little bit smaller and a more rounded shape on the muffler. And you have the Challenge Stradale, which everybody talks about, very hard to get. It's even more narrow, and also has those signature clamshell looking heat shields on both sides. And obviously there's the actual racing exhaust, the challenge car racing exhaust. Now, Ferrari North America characterized the one I bought as the plug-and-play version of the Challenge Stradale exhaust because it doesn't require 2 ECUs. The plumbing for the exhaust that I got is also traditional muffler style. It goes from the catalytic converters to the muffler and then out to the tips. There's no straight pipes from the cat to the tips like the CS has, which creates that signature bark. It's a really nice sound. Now, the exhaust that I have does have a valve on it, and I also purchased a valve controller from Capristo. I actually purchased the valve controller to go on my Tubi, but I didn't even know that my Tubi didn't have valves. I just assumed that they all had valves, but no, they don't. Some models have, aftermarket models have valves, some just don't. They're just straight. Now, You can also hear a short clip of a Capristo that I caught in the shop. Sounds pretty amazing and quite savage. I might consider that in the future if I get tired of this exhaust, but I definitely will always keep this exhaust. It is the OEM Ferrari Sport Exhaust. I think they're pretty hard to come by. They don't make them anymore. So if I ever do decide to sell in the future, I don't have any plans, okay, but if I ever do, I'll probably include that with the car. Now, another option, I'm also considering an Inconel Klein exhaust. This is a pretty awesome sounding exhaust. However, can you believe it takes 4 months to make this thing? That's a long time to wait, and I don't know, considering it. So it's basically an X pipe with a canister on top and a valve system. So if you guys think I should order one and it's worth the wait, comment below. Another option people always talk about is a used 430 exhaust. Those are really plentiful and easy to find. It's very close in construction to the CS exhaust. The tips are too long and they need to be cut to fit properly. There's a very detailed blog on aldusvoice.com. I'm going to give you a link in the description. If you're a 360 or a 430 owner, eventually your research will lead to posts on Ferrari Chat. Finished. They may not be started by these guys, but they'll be finished with the definitive answers by Aldus Voice or 360 Trev, okay? So here's some shots of his website. He has a blog and he has a bunch of tips on almost everything about these cars. He's a legend in the 360 430 realm, and he has given me permission to reference his work, so don't go, relax. Don't go run to your keyboard and start typing to him. He gave me permission, okay? It's not a paid promotion either, and he does work with the legendary tuner 360 Trev, who is the go-to contact for getting your ECUs programmed. He has figured out all the codes to get the performance that you want out of the 360s. Okay, they can modify when the valves open and close, as well as throttle modulation points and reference engine RPMs. I would love to visit this guy's shop, but we are a continent away from each other. So in substitute for that, I just want to wish you much respect and keep it up. Everybody appreciates it. In the US, we definitely, you guys have a lot of fans over here. So the reason that I chose a sport exhaust for my car is initially I thought it was a CS exhaust. I made that mistake. I thought it was because they just said it was the CS equivalent, so I just assumed it was the same, but it's not the same. It's different. It's physically different. It's plumbed different. It is a Ferrari exhaust, yes. It should be a little bit more sporty than the stock exhaust, even though the stock exhaust already sounds pretty good. And there isn't a single YouTube video on what my exhaust sounds like. I know there's a bunch of people with this exhaust on their car, but if you Google the part number that I gave you, 7000364, the only thing that comes up is a purchase to link, is a link to purchase that exhaust from Continental Ferrari, and it's actually a picture of a Tubi valveless exhaust, so it's very confusing. Hopefully this video will put those assumptions to bed and people know what they're buying. If they buy a used one, they'll know what it sounds like because of this video. And so yeah, the internet can be a confusing place. So if you need conclusions, go to Aldus Voice. If you really want to hear what this sport exhaust sounds like, you can fast forward to the end of this video. It'll be plenty of sound clips for you. Now, in the order of extremes, I think this is louder than the stock, but not as loud as a CS. And it also doesn't bark. It doesn't have that wail like a banshee. It doesn't do any of that stuff. It also doesn't have a drone, okay? But I've only driven this car about an hour since I had the exhaust installed and the evap system fixed. So I have yet to figure out what sounds best as far as the combinations of valves closed and shift points and all that stuff versus valves open and driving patterns. So sorry I don't have a CS exhaust on this video, but my friend Josh, we will be making another video just for that comparison, specific comparison. Two Ferrari exhausts compared against each other. and because he has an OEM CS exhaust and a tune by 360 Trev. So we will feature him and his car in our next video. Be sure to subscribe to see that one. All right, enough of me talking. Here are the sound clips of a Tubi, my old exhaust, a Ferrari Sport Exhaust. Now keep in mind, most of the clips of me driving had the valves open, okay, and some brief shots of a Capristo in the shop. Each clip is labeled so you can reference it. Now, before I pick up the car, I was given a small sample of what the exhaust sounded like in the shop. And it has an interesting snarl when the valves are closed, which is interesting. I guess with less flow, it kind of has a little, not a burble, but I guess I just describe it as a little snarl. You guys got to hear it. Maybe put your headphones on to hear it. And be sure to subscribe so we can figure out the best sound, all right? Now, let's go. Roll the clips. Let's go ahead and start this car. It's always a procedure. Hit the fob. Get that yellow light comes up. Okay. Red light. Start it. Now that the car has warmed up a bit, I'm going to give you guys a few revs. You tell me if I'm making a mistake switching the exhaust, okay? Give it a couple revs. Let me show you on the RPM. Sounds a little bit muscle car to me, not too exotic. What's up, Ted?
Hey, how you doing?
Can I hear this baby fire up?
Cool.
Look, Jared.
Stop right now.
Oh, it's already back together. How you doing?
Hey.
You have to take the wheel off?
Yeah, to
For
go
the
in
controller?
here. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's.
Can I hear it? Can I hear it?
Yeah, it'll.
Okay. It's better than the Tubi, right?
Yeah. It's. You're gonna love it.
It's not as savage as a Capristo, right?
No, not like that. He'll demonstrate.
It's livable, but it's nice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to wear earplugs.
No,
Just
nothing
enjoy
like
it.
that. No, it's got a really good. You're gonna like it. All right. You're gonna control his little toy.
Where's that fob at?
Here, give it to him. You can play with it.
Oh, that's what it looks like.
So there's 3 settings basically.
Okay. It's a little higher pitch when it's closed.
Yeah, and then deeper.
It has this little vibration sound when it's closed.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's a good.
Yeah. It's a keeper. It's a keeper. Alright, let's get an acceleration run right here, guys. It's a good spot, real good spot. Alright, let's get an acceleration run right here, guys. It's a good spot, real good spot.